Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do what?
This week on the GTN show, we're going to be helping you not give up on your New Year's resolutions.
Oh, phew. I thought it was going to be something far worse than that. Well, we've also got a new triathlon team that's headed up by pros Marinda Carfrey and Tim O'Donnell, as well as a pro cyclist beating triathletes in a running race.
Yeah, and Javier Gomez is back. Yeah, this weekend we had the first race of 2022, and Javier Gomez is back to his winning ways.
Well, to kick things off from what we spotted on social media this week is another retirement. This time it's from Joe Gambles, who has been a professional triathlete for 20 years. So a pretty impressive career, winning numerous 70.3s. And he's just said the time has come to an end. I think he's known that for the last sort of few years, and he's just been doing events that he's enjoyed. And he said here that he's grateful for the adventures he's had, places he's visited, and most of all, the people he met along the way, which I think is really nice.
Yeah, a bit of a phenomenal athlete, really. He's had countless podiums, as you've mentioned. I think even a bronze, the Ironman 70.3 Worlds. Bit of a 70.3 specialist, but also dabbled in longer distance, and just an incredible athlete. So just wishing Joe and his family all the best for the future. Moving on, we also spotted that Christian Blumenfeld has at it again with some sciencey testing. He's got some markers on his body on one of those massive treadmills, it's almost like the treadmill of dreams, and doing some kind of, I guess, motion analysis for his running. So yeah, as usual, Norwegians just leaving no stone unturned.
Pushing it to the absolute limit. I love it. And I love the fact they're so happy to share what they're up to as well and kind of inspire other people.
Almost just maybe making everyone worry. Going, this is what we're up to. What are you doing?
Exactly.
Talking of which, I mean, Sam Long, who cancelled Christmas for those very reasons, probably seeing the Norwegians hard at work. We mentioned in the show last week his new Zoot partnership, but we were a little bit too early because soon after he announced his Trek partnership, which is a pretty big deal.
He's obviously been busy signing these contracts, hasn't he, over Christmas? That's obviously what he was up to.
Yeah, along with re-signing with Powerbar, I believe it is. But with that announcement, he was showing off his very fancy new Trek Speed concept with the custom Project One paintwork, which is
does look good.
Very, very
nice sunset or sunrise he's got for that golden hour shoot as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's New Year, and you know what that means. Lots of New Year's resolutions.
Yes, but apparently the 17th of January is what they call Quitter's Day, when those New Year's resolutions come to a head and we fail to continue with them.
Yeah, now being triathletes, it's kind of quite typical to set several New Year's resolutions, whether it's for your training or your competition, and have all these great ideas. But before you fall victim to Quitter's Day and you start coming up with all the excuses, we're here to help you.
Yeah, by poking fun at the excuses that you make. Starting with one that I'm pretty guilty of, actually. It's being too hungry. I always head out with grand plans to run on my lunch break or straight after work, but when it actually comes to time, I'm just too hungry.
Do you know, I think I almost overcompensate for that one, because I get the problem that I'm often too full because I think I'm worried I'm going to be hungry, so then I'll eat, and then I'm like, oh no, I've got to wait 2 hours till I can go for my run.
I've also fallen victim to that one. I know the solution is simply eat snacks beforehand during the day, and I know that works, but in reality what happens is I get stuck into my work, I forget to eat, and I don't go for a run.
Oh, this is a great excuse for this time of year, especially if you live in the Northern Hemisphere. It seems to just be dark all the time. You go into work and it's pretty much still dark, and you walk out the door in the afternoon, evening, and it's dark again. I mean, how does that happen? No wonder the run kind of gets pushed till the next day, and then the next day.
Yeah, exactly. Now, granted, running or cycling outdoors in the dark can be quite dangerous and sketchy, but it can also be quite rewarding, it can be quite fun, and it's more than doable. Just make sure you're taking the correct measures. So get yourself a light so that you can see, and also make sure that you can be seen. And if you'd like any tips for that, watch our night triathlon video. The classic, your watch is dead. No, just no. Come on, really, does it really matter? Back when I first started doing triathlon, I didn't even wear a watch or even have a head unit on my bike. I just head out and got it done.
But that was probably before the days of Strava. If it's not on Strava, it doesn't count.
No, just no. It really doesn't matter. Just get out there, get it done, or just make sure you're better at charging.
All right, this is a new one that many of us are having to face thanks to COVID. We're actually having to plan ahead and book your pool or your gym session.
Yeah, I've actually heard really bad cases of this where they're literally having to get on the booking system around a week before. So as soon as that slot becomes available, to the minute, the week before, they are there ready to hit the button and book it. And we're not going to taunt you on this being a poor excuse because, well, it is how life is now. We just got to kind of accept that.
Yeah, and I mean, one positive of Quitters Day happening on the 17th, maybe there'll be more spaces after that. So hang in there, get through January, and also just try to be really organised. Maybe set some reminders if you're desperate to go to that specific session.
And then there's the worry that you may be too sweaty or look bad for work or a social engagement.
Yeah, I mean, being triathletes, you're going to be trying to fit in lots of sessions, and that quite often means fitting in something at lunch break or just before work or before a meetup and having to look vaguely presentable.
Yeah, now I can't say I've ever been too worried about my appearance for that, but I do fully understand the being sweaty and smelly. So if you can jump in the shower after your workout, great, but you can also finish that shower with a quick cold blast, and that's going to cool you down and prevent you from sweating too much. Failing that, good towel down and lots of deodorant.
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously showered today, but you might notice that I haven't washed my hair since running this morning. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. You're too kind. I'm sure everyone else will be judging me.
Any other tips?
A cap. If you ever see me wearing a cap.
Okay.
But this is all for like longer hair situations, because your hair just looks the same whatever, whether you've been running or not. So
it just dries out.
I think, I think that's and like you say, wet wipes or deodorant if you really can't get to a shower. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that racing is months away, you've got plenty of time and you don't want to risk any burnout.
Yeah, I've made this mistake countless times. It's not a good excuse. In short, the more time you have and training you have, the better. And if you want to do this well, maybe just get a good program together so you make sure you don't burn out.
Yeah, I think that is enough for now. No more excuses. We're going to do this. We're going to smash through Quitters Day together and have a brilliant 2022. And on to triathlon news. And 5-time world champion, 4-time European champion and Olympic medalist Javier Gomez has just got a new bike relationship. He's finished his relationship with Specialized. We're now going to see him on the Orbea Ordu for his long course racing. So he's actually put the Olympic racing behind him, and it's time to really dial in that TT bike now. And he's gone for, well, a more local company.
Yeah, I mean, talking of experience and knowledge, I mean, it doesn't really get much better than Javier Gomez, does it? And yeah, as you say, for almost a local brand to him, at least from the same nationality from Spain, yeah, and a fantastic brand to be partnering with. And hopefully also it's kind of a two-way relationship. He's actually providing a lot of input towards them with the designs and taking their stuff forward too.
Very cool.
Yeah, well, moving on, we also have pro triathlon super couple Mirinda Carfrey and Tim O'Donnell heading up an age group triathlon team, as well as obviously with pros on board with them. It is the Waterfall race team. So they're going to be joined also on that team by Justin and Jenny Metzler, Andre Lopez and Rachel Olsen. And they also have the age group team, which you can join for a small fee of $275, but apparently that fees are going to be waived until the 15th of January if you use the codes TO or RINI, and you still get all the perks with that.
I mean, what have you got to lose? And apparently if you actually open a Waterfall bank account, you can even get the free kit. The kit looks quite nice, so I reckon there's going to be quite a lot of people jumping at that opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are serious perks as well. We've got local coach-led meetups in various locations, weekly interactive live streams with the pros, access to training camps, and a ton more. So watch this space.
Yeah, and watch out for Waterfall Bank, because they are just sort of exploding into the world of triathlon, aren't they, at the moment? And you might have remembered us mentioning the couples triathlon, which is actually backed by them as well. And there's a new signing to that. We've just seen Ashley Gentle and Josh Amberger, who are just adding their names to the list of, we've already seen quite a few sign up, haven't we?
I mean, it's such an impressive, such an impressive melting pot of talent. I mean, we've got the likes of Vincent Louis and Taylor Spivey in there, various others. I mean, this is going to be a serious race, really quite exciting.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I mean, also to add to that, we just found out that they're actually bringing in a relay team with some real firepower too. Brooke Bennett, who is a US Olympic swimmer, along with Phil Guyman and Gwen Jorgensen. And apparently, if the teams manage to beat this relay team, £10,000 per team will go to charity.
Wow.
I think probably it's within their interest to actually slow that relay team down.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds a pretty impossible relay team to beat, but I'd like to think that the charities have a chance.
The interesting thing is, because there are multiple stages to this, each of those people in that relay team are going to have to do those over and over again, whereas in the actual teams as a couple, they're sharing the workload
Fair enough, yeah, wise. Well, interesting to see.
And moving on, and we had a pro cyclist beating pro triathletes in a 5K. Yeah, Freddie Ovett, a rider for the Legion of LA cycling team, beat WTCS star and Olympian Jonas Schomburg and David McNamee with a time of 14:41 in a 5K in Girona.
Yeah, pretty fast running. Now, that surname might ring a bell, and after a bit of digging, turns out that he actually ran at Oregon himself before being a cyclist. But the most significant part is his father, Steve Ovett, the 800-metre gold medalist from the 1980 Olympics. So some pedigree there, I think it's fair to say. And yes, Freddie was actually born in Scotland, but the family moved over to Australia. And I think we are all dying to know, and I expect you are as well, can he swim? Well, there's been some frustrated runners in Wales, or due to COVID restrictions at the moment, you're not allowed to have groups of gatherings more than 50 people, and that affects Parkrun, which is a free-to-run event that happens all around the world, but also quite a lot in England and in Wales, where more than 50 people will turn up on a Saturday morning and go for the run. So this group basically put together a not Parkrun, making sure that there weren't more than 50. They didn't want to break these rules, but just trying to make a protest to the Welsh Health Minister, saying that the benefits of being outside and doing exercise in the fresh air far outweigh the risks of potentially catching something, which, you know, you're still allowed to go and sit in a group indoors in a pub, and that surely is, you know, more important to actually get that fresh air and to get the kind of health benefits from it. So it'll be interesting to see if the Welsh Government do make any changes in the near future. At the moment, though, in the UK, Parkrun is allowed to happen, so, you know, we're quite lucky. I think quite a few people are coming home from Wales to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, finally, in the Tri news, and this one really caught my attention, the sub 4 minute mile has been a bit of an elusive barrier in distance running for many years. At one point, actually, it was thought humanly impossible. And each year, very few people actually manage to dip under that sub 4 minute mile, and I really wish we could at some point.
You got close this year with some assistance.
Anyway, Nick Willis, who's an Olympic runner medalist, has actually broken the barrier every year for almost 20 years. And I say almost because on the 1st of January this year, when many of us were probably nursing headaches, he attempted his 20th sub 4 minute mile, or 20th year of doing the sub 4 minute mile, and narrowly missed out. He went a time of 4 minutes, 0 seconds, 0.22.
Oh no!
I know.
What a frustrating start to the year.
So whilst he missed out on the mark on New Year's Day, apparently he is going to reattempt that this year to make it 20 in a row for, well, 20 years.
If you got that close, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently that will make it the longest sub 4 minute mile streak in track and field history, if it's not already.
Wow, that's an interesting stat there, isn't it? Yeah. But, you know, you need to find a steeper hill, I think, for your downhill mile for this year.
Well, I still haven't managed a sub 4 with that, but yeah, we will give it a go.
All right, I'm going to try it. What the tech?
Hey!
All right, time for tech news. And you might remember last year we mentioned these smart tyres. Now, they're a new airless metal tyre, and the technology's been taken from NASA to basically develop this kind of clever design that in theory means no more punctures.
Yeah, now that is a serious what the tech, right?
It is.
There we go, that's why I coined that term. Now they're basically a wire mesh that does away with the need for a rubber tyre and inner tube for that matter, and they claim that to be a lot lighter. Now they have just brought out this new second generation model that uses a material known as Nitinol Plus, which they claim is 50% lighter and still acts like rubber, but is as light as titanium. Now, this is where it's quite crucial. By reducing the weight by 50%, it also allows them to reduce the cost, because currently those tyres sit at £2,000.
Ooh, that's tyres, not wheels.
Yes, but I mean, I guess, you know, in theory, they're going to last a very long time. So £2,000 well spent.
How many inner tubes is that? There's a new direct-to-consumer brand called UDog who have just designed and announced their first cycling footwear using a system called Tension or Tensione. They are Italian,
right.
Who knows? But it's a tension wrap system that basically goes around underneath the foot to potentially give you more comfort. And they're quoted here as saying, the new Tensione shoes incorporate a patented dynamic system that hugs the metatarsal area of your foot, that's like the long bones in your foot, from the instep to the bridge for an optimum fit.
It's a really interesting concept, actually.
I like the thought. I'm actually picturing it whilst I'm saying it, of like feeling like under my foot is sort of supported. But then I don't know how if you
little foot hug.
Yeah, but then it could after a while when your feet change and I don't know.
But then I guess from the look of the picture, it's almost elastic and it's not like it's fixed, like your foot's stuck in carbon fibre. Now, moving on from that, the upper is made of a technical 3D mesh, which is said to be kind of light, soft, and breathable. All in all, they say it weighs around 254 grams per shoe, or 508 grams for the pair, for a size 42, which is pretty light in comparison to a lot of shoes, and will be priced at around £130.
Interesting.
Now for the race news, and I'm pleased to say we do actually have some race news this week.
Woo.
Yeah, I'm at 70.3 Pucon, which apparently was a very challenging course, and judging by Javier Gomez's Instagram post, the run course was exceptionally hard. In fact, I think he would have quite liked a memo ahead of the race.
Oh, really? I mean, his time didn't reflect that it was that hard. I mean, I must say Pucon is absolutely beautiful, but it's got some good hills around it, so maybe it went near the hills.
Yeah, I mean, he still posted a 1:10 half marathon run split on the way to taking the win there ahead of Luciano Tuccone and Ronaldo Colucci.
Well, the women's race was won by Luisa Baptista, who took the win by over 8 minutes, so very impressive. It was actually the bike that did most of that work, but Barbara Riveros, who was actually from Chile and has competed in, I think, was it 4 or 5 Olympic Games, she came second, so I'm sure that it was great sort of in front of a home crowd for that one, and third place was Romina Palacio from Argentina. Time to take a look at your photos, and we all love a new bike day. This first one from Callie, and it was Christmas Eve for a new bike day, which is pretty cool, isn't it? She says, my bike day came early on Christmas Eve, looks fantastic, so excited for the new season. It's the Canyon Speedmax CF7 disc E-Tap, and it looks like it wasn't just her that was excited for the box delivery as well.
No, funnily enough, I actually know these people, and that's Jez on the box there, very excited. I understand they've been waiting a while for these bikes to arrive. So yeah, I can understand the excitement probably just unboxing on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
A lovely bike as well.
Oh, yeah, very nice don't we bike. Know?
Yeah, moving on, Noah from Malakuta in Victoria, or at least they were visiting there, said, crazy to think that when I was here 2 years ago, the surrounding bushland was on fire and I hadn't even started triathlon yet. Very sad to hear that. Not that they just started triathlon. Maybe it is for your partner, I don't know. Now it is nothing but beautiful regrowth, and I'm on my way to Australia for the World Cup or World Championship selection. Yeah, under 23 World Championship selection.
Yeah, that's 2 positives there, isn't it? That's awesome, seeing all the ground growing back, and also
yeah, and they've also sent in a lovely video of them cycling along, and you can see all that beautiful regrowth there.
Lovely. Well, if you guys have got any pictures similar or something completely different, but it's related to triathlon and you're going to inspire us, please do share using the uploader, which is on screen now, and you can also find it in the description below. It's caption competition time, and we had this photo last week of Jess and Georgia just having a little bit of a chat, presumably in their warm-up by the looks of it, or was it actually?
No, I think this was actually racing,
during the race. Wow.
Probably talking tactics, knowing them.
They look very relaxed, don't they? But we've got a few lovely suggestions to share with you. First from Amber Kennedy, when you want to be friends with the other team. Nice.
Next one from Len Whitrock. What? This race is draft legal? Oh, good to know.
Eric Hayden says, was that Lucy Charles back there?
But the winner is Josh Spencer. So, do you think you'll order a Tron bike? In reference, obviously, to the Tron bike we talked about.
Very topical.
Yeah, very good. Well, you are the winner, Josh, so get in touch and we'll send a cap out to you very soon. But now for this week's Caption Comp photo, it is this photo, post-race, Ironman 70.3 New York, I think 2012-ish.
A few years back.
But yeah, who knows what's going on there. So leave your captions in the comments section.
A new version of the cool down, isn't it?
Hey, nice. Well, that's it for the show this week. We've got loads coming up on the channel, including a spinning versus grinding. In case you're wondering what that is, that's like low gear or high gear, as well as how to prepare for your first marathon.
Yeah, and if you're wanting a bit of motivation for the new year to get you through Quitters Day, then how about getting some new kit? Go and have a look at the GTN shop. We've got some lovely new bike kit, which is perfect to inspire you for the springtime.
I always like a bit of new kit. That motivates me to get out the door.
It does, yeah, it really helps, doesn't it? Then also remember to give us a like if you haven't yet done so, and hit that globe to subscribe. And there's a couple of videos for you to keep an eye on, or for you to watch now, in fact. We've got the 10,000 calorie challenge, which I'm yet to watch. You don't look like you've eaten 10,000 calories. I don't know how you
We
guys did
didn't
it.
quite make it, spoiler alert, didn't quite make it to 10,000 calories. But yeah, we tried to eat like an Ironman for a day. And then the other video we have, which I'd really suggest having a look at, is 20 athletes to watch for 2022, the people that we thought may stir things up this year.